Ready?
All right, shooter, you ready?
Shooter ready.
Meet. Go.
What's the next one?
Rifle. Yo, one rifle and pistol again. Pistol on the right.
Right?
Yeah, but it's all right. Rifle again. All right, now. Pistol. Rifle. Pistol. Rifle. Finish it off. All right. Good shit, man. Good fucking shit.
Thanks, man.
I know a lot of you have been waiting for this video for a long time. Couple things before I get started. I didn't get to shoot this as much because I loaned it to a friend. If you watched my previous video, you'll know that was the case. But if you didn't, and you're just a Knights fan, you hate HK, I had to let my buddy borrow this. I did get to run it a couple times, and I think there was one run I didn't record, but just a brief synopsis. I was invited by a friend to his group of shooting buddies, and we were running loose drills that day. It kept changing every run, so there was confusion frequently, and you'll see that in the video a little bit. And if you watch my last Heavy Recce episode, you'll see that was the case. Now, the Knights. So I let my buddy run it, who's a family man. Really good dude. He works for me, and he's the perfect right-hand man. He really stepped up at work and does a lot of excellent stuff. Makes my job easy. He works me out of the job half the time. And it was nice to say, you know, thank you in this way by letting him run my rifle. What I really like about this setup is it's lightweight. And you'll notice from the last video, I actually have to delete the last video I shot with this because it wasn't updated yet. And the rifle's set up. I'm just going to change the light out, which we'll get to in a minute. But I put the B5 SOP mod stock with the storage on it, the mod 3 BCM grip, which is on all my other rifles, and I finally got a pressure switch for the light. The only one they had in stock was one with a tan tail cap because I couldn't wait. So I'm going to switch that over, the pressure switch to the MR556, and I have a cool other project that I'm going to be doing. I think you'll all like it. It's associated with both the things you see in front of you. That's the only hint I'm going to give you. So I'll just be putting an M600 dual fuel, the same pressure switch but black, just to keep the theme going. But quite frankly, I love this rifle. It's a very, very, very accurate and capable rifle, but because it's so light and it's so awesome to move around and use because it's light, I'm going to keep it in this configuration. Also, I really love the Comp M5 and the Scalar Works mount. I used to not be a fan of the lower 1/3 co-witness, but I'm all for it now. Although that's going to be the tallest, mount I'm going to use. I don't know what these guys are using these 2.5 and 3-inch mounts for, so they can get a chin weld on the rail. I don't understand. But anyways, one thing I will say for the Comp M5 is I never thought dot glass clarity was important before until this optic. I can see so well through it. There's no distortion. It's crystal clear glass, and it feels very rugged, and it's super easy to hit targets. I will say my only complaint, and this is with all aim points, is I don't like burn my retina bright on my dots. I know a lot of guys turn their dots all the way up. Even in daylight, I don't really crank it up that high. And much like the Navy PT shirts, I'm kind of in the middle. So a medium is like a smedium on me, and a large is a tent. So I kind of need something in the middle which is the same with the brightness settings here. On the one brightness setting I use, I should probably count them out and tell you the difference, but one is just a little too faint, but I can still pick it up, and one is just really bright, and it's kind of disorienting sometimes, but it does help me, you know, I just deal with it and hit the steel. For reference, on my Trijicon, even on a bright sunny day, 9 is as bright as I go. I don't need higher than 9. So I don't know if it's something with my eyes, if red just really pops or something, but I don't need those higher end settings. But what I will say is this rifle is filling the exact role that it's been put into. The light fast setup for moving around and shooting, and just having a general purpose fighting rifle, this is it. This, for me, this is a fighting rifle with a dot. This is my urban fighting rifle, you know, 300 yards and in rifle. And don't get me wrong, the barrel and the way this rifle's put together is very capable. If I put a 1-8 on it, I'd be able to push it out really far. But I think that the way these rifles are, the best way to run them is in a lighter configuration because they're so light. And they're very rugged. And when I ran it, it was definitely lighter than the HK. It was a lot faster. And, well, I don't want to say a lot faster. It was light on its feet. It's very easy and effortless to drive. One thing I was working on, which you'll see in the shooting footage when I'm not running the drills, but I'm just, I put 60 rounds through it. I was trying to get the perfect snap, cheek weld, and alignment with the red dot. There were a couple times where I'd snap it up and my head wasn't all the way down, so I was looking kind of over the dot, if that makes sense. But I was still looking through the optic, but I don't know how to explain it. But I still got hits. I think at range that would be a problem. But once I squared that away, I was getting pretty good hits. And this thing is just a dream to run. The recoil impulse, the trigger, everything is set on this rifle. As far as I'm concerned, this is the top tier direct impingement rifle. I plan on getting a BCM, and in fact I ran a BCM with a TA31, which is a very smooth shooting rifle. I'm pretty sure it was a 16-inch recce.
It's great.
That's a really nice shooting rifle, man.
I know.
And as you can see there, it's a really flat, smooth shooting rifle. He did have the Surefire brake, and he was either using a 5.56 Mini or a RC2. I couldn't really see, and I didn't get to shoot it with the suppressor, obviously. It was really nice to use the TA31 because I'm going to be putting that on some other projects, but it's a smooth shooting rifle, and you know, it's pretty close to this one, but it's not as perfect as this one. And I have fired a Mod 2 key mod, both my wife's and my buddy's, and my wife's key mod has the same muzzle device this does, and my buddy's key mod has the same Surefire brake that was on the BCM, and the Knights with the Surefire was still a smoother rifle than the BCM, but the BCM's like right on its coattails. So if you had to put me in a spot, the DI rifles I would recommend just based on my experience would be Knights is top tier, Triarch and BCM can fight it out for number 2, and then I really want to give that LWRC a shot, but it's probably number 3 in there. Overall though, it's clear to me that this Knights is where it's at, and you'll be seeing more Knights from me in the future, both with this rifle and some other things I plan to put together. But this is by far and away, if you're sitting there telling me I gotta take one rifle and go do a lot of work with it in those ranges that I discussed, and I'm not going to be, you know, out in the mountains of Afghanistan. I'm going to be, you know, doing a lot of urban stuff or building clearing or something like that. I'm taking this rifle every single day, and I could very confidently with a dot stretch it out to 350, maybe even 400 if I'm on my A game and the wind is, there's zero wind. But this thing is just an animal. It just runs and runs and runs, and I was very happy to be able to run it. I split my ammo. I brought 300 rounds, so I put about 150 through this between myself and my buddy who I let run it, and Just a great rifle. Absolutely outstanding. Cannot recommend it enough. And I know this is the first episode, so just wait till I do the review. I do look forward to running it a lot more, and I'm going to try to take it to some 2-gun matches. And just overall, it was a very good shooting day. It was really nice to be able to run not just this rifle, but to run it compared to my HK to understand the importance and differences of having different setups for different roles. And even though there's some overlap between those roles, it's nice to have something set up to do a job, and it just kills it in that role. And that's what this rifle is. It's perfectly set up for what I intend to use it for, and I've got 0 complaints. And honestly, if you wanted one rifle, this is the rifle I would point you towards. And what you can do is have a dot and then buy a super precision mount, zero it for a ranged rifle, and then, you know, swap it out, or just have 2 uppers. But if you're looking for a go-to-war rifle, this is a go-to-war rifle. First episode, and that's how much I'm raving about this rifle, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Take care of each other, stay safe, and support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America.
Just stand up here, start there, walk forward. Yep. Back there. Walk forward here. Yep. Contact. So, you see where it's now starting to come together? Yeah. Let's see how that added to the walking. That's what you should have. And how you can. So, let's do it again. When you did, so you did this. You had right first? Yeah. Clap. But this has been it's not perfect. And then you did this. Yeah, the little pop. So that's time we went up and down. Number one. So the bullet, up, foot. 400 feet away, foot story. All day long. Yep, on that action. Roger that. So if you get in that position and it doesn't feel 100%, but you still got let's right there.
Whatever you gotta do. Take a shot. Group picture. Guys, get ready for a group picture.
Alright.
Get all your bells and whistles. Group picture.